Why American cemeteries and not cemetery? The first temporary cemetery was established at Vieilleville-sur-Mer on June 7, 1944, in the Dog White sector. When this temporary cemetery closed on June 10th, it contained the remains of 457 American soldiers, as well as several Germans, British sailors, and RAF airmen. Due to the significant flooding risk at Dog White Cemetery, the burial were moved to a second temporary cemetery located near the site of the current permanent cemetery. This decision was quickly validated when the storm destroyed Mulberry A, and the lowland where the cemetery stood was covered by water. A commemorative monument now marks the original location of the first temporary cemetery. By June 26, 1944, the second temporary cemetery contained the grave of 1,510 Americans, 48 Allied counterparts, and 606 German, totaling 2,164 burials. In 1947, American authorities made the decision to consolidate wartime burials, resulting in the establishment of 5 cemeteries across France. Among these, 2 cemeteries were created in Normandy, one located in Colleville-sur-Mer and the other one in St. James, near Brittany. The American cemetery at Colleville was formally dedicated on July 7, 1956, on 172.5 acres. Today, the site serves as a final resting place of 9,388 men and women who served. The Commission also oversaw sculptures, landscaping, and oversight improvements. The cemetery's architects were Arbison, Youth, Livingstone, and Lawson from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and the landscape architect was Markley Stevenson, also of Philadelphia. The Normandy American Cemetery features a generally rectangular layout with main path arranged in the shape of a Latin cross. Inside the main gate are parking areas, visitors building, and the superintendent's quarter. At the western end of the cemetery stands a similar memorial with a memorial garden and tablets honoring the missing. Facing west, the memorial overlooks a large reflecting pool flanked by 2 flagpoles, from which the American flag is flown daily, and the American and French on Memorial Day. The Memorial Chapel is located about 2/3 of the way along the mall. At the western end of the central mall, 2 Italian granite figures representing the United States and France rise above the grave area. Encircling the cemetery is a service road, an overlook on a small jute of land just north of the memorial provides a panoramic view of Omaha Beach and the English Channel below. An orientation table at the overlook highlights the various beaches involved in the Normandy landing, with a long railing forming a parapet along the cliff edge. From here, visitors can visualize the action of the landing and the scaling of the escarpment. Prior to the 1944 landing, enemy forces had installed artillery and machine guns along the bluff, enabling them to fire lengthwise along the beach. The memorial structure consists of a semicircular colonnade with large battle maps at each end and a prominent bronze sculpture in the open arc. The loggias are constructed of Vorian limestone from France, Côte d'Or region, and the platform and steps are made of Plominac granite from Brittany. The ceilings of the loggias are adorned with blue ceramic tiles crafted by Gentil and Bourdet of Paris. The floor of the open area within the arc is paved with pebbles taken from the Invasion Beach below the cliff and set in mortar. Centered in the open arc facing the grave area stand a 22-foot bronze statue titled "The Spirit of America, Youth Rising from the Wave," created by Donald DeLue of Leonardo, New Jersey, and cast in Milan, Italy by the Battaglia Foundry. The statue pedestal features a bronze inscription encircling its base, "Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord." Flanking the statue are 4 rectangular garden plots within boxwood borders and stone bench. The interface of the colonnade's lintel is inscribed with "The embattlement shore, portal of freedom, is forever allowed by the idol, the valor and the sacrifice of our fellow countrymen." Inside the South Lodge, 3 maps are engraved and embellished with colors. The largest of the south well is titled "The Landing of the Normandy Beaches and the Development of the Beachhead," depicting the landing on June 6, 1944, the establishment of the beachhead, the liberation of Cherbourg and Saint-Lô, and the subsequent breakout. The west wall of the South Lodge features a map called "Air Operation over Normandy, March-August 1944, depicting the air operation that isolated the beachhead area from the interior of France. The east wall map is titled 6 June 1944, the amphibious assault landing, showing the naval plan for the landing. The North Lodge contained a large topographic map titled "Military Operation in Western Europe, June 6, 1944 to the 8th of May 1944, tracing the progress of military operation in Northwest Europe." English and French descriptive text accompany the map, which were designed by Robert Foster of New York City, based on the data from the Commission, and executed by Maurice Schmid of Paris. Dedicatory inscriptions appears in French on the west face of the South Lodge and in English on the west face of the North Lodge. In proud remembrance of the achievement of Urson and in humble tribute to their sacrifice, this memorial is erected by the United States of America. Large bronze urns designed by Donald Lulu and cast by the Maranelli Foundry in Florence, Italy, are set in the east and west wall of the lodge. The urns are decorated with scenes in high relief depicting the themes of war, sacrifice, and hope. One side shows a dying warrior supported by an angel, with the opposite side depict a woman and a child at a soldier's grave, symbolizing the impact of war on families. Another scene represents God's spirit over the waters, recalling Genesis and the memory of those lost at sea, with a rainbow symbolizing hope and peace, an angel pushing away a stone allude to resurrections and eternal life. The Great Seal of the United States is inscribed on the south face of South Lodge, with an inscription below, AD 1944, American Battle Monument Commission, Harbison's Youth, Livingston's, and Lawson's architect. A carillon presented by American veterans and dedicated on June 6, 1996, stands at the memorial as a living tribute to those who made the supreme sacrifice in cause of freedom. Behind the memorial is the Garden of the Missing. Its semicircular wall inscribed with the names of 1,557 missing in action. These individuals gave their lives in service, but their remains were not recovered or identified. The names are separated by laurel leaf sculptures. Unless otherwise established, the official date of death that those commemorate is set as 1 year and 1 day after being placed in missing status. The wall bears the inscription in both English and French. Are recorded the names of Americans who gave their life in the service and their country and who slept in unknown graves. This is their memorial, and except from General Dwight Eisenhower, dedicated at St. Paul Cathedral in London, is inscribed at the rear of the memorial colonnade. To this we owe the I resolve that the cause for which they die shall live. Radiating pathways divide the garden into 4 areas. Embedded in the lawn directly opposite the entrance of the old visitors building is a time capsule, sealed with new reports of the June 6, 1944 Normandy landing. The capsule is covered by a rose granite slab engraved to be opened June 2044. In the center of the slab is a bronze plaque borne with 5 stars of the General of the Armies inscribed in memory of General Dwight David Eisenhower and the forces under his command. This sealed capsule contains news report of June 6 in Normandy landing, and it's placed here by the newsmen who were there June 6, 1969. The circular chapel in the grave area is constructed of Ivorian limestone with granite steps. Surmounting the chapel is a bronze faneuil with the armory sphere serving as a light arrestor. The chapel exterior bears the inscription, "This chapel has been erected by the United States of America in grateful memory of our sons who gave their life in the landing of the Normandy beaches and in the liberations on the northern France. Their graves are the permanent and visible symbol of their heroic devotion and their sacrifice in the common cause of humanity." A French translation appears below. Inscribed above the door is, "Thus endured all and gave all that justice among nations might prevail, and that mankind might enjoy freedom and enter into peace." A replica of the Congressional Medal of Honor, the highest American award for valor, is engraved on the chapel door. Inside, the altar is made of black and gold Purns Grand antique marble, inscribed with, "I gave unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish." Behind the altar, a tall window with a translucent amber coating fills the space with soft yellow light. It's bordered, adorned with 48 stars representing the State of the Union. Above the altar is a Star of David with a dove in its center, and below is a gold encased cross. The altar stands on 2 tiers of travertine limestones, and it's flanked by the flag of the United States, France, Great Britain, and Canada. The chapel's interior walls also feature travertine limestone, inscribed with, "Through the gate of death may they pass to their joyful resurrections," above which is a Latin cross. The opposite wall bears the inscription, "Think not only upon their passing, remember the glory of their spirit," surmounted by the tablet of Moses and the stars of David. The ceiling mosaic, designed by Leon Kroll of New York, symbolizes America's supreme sacrifice. America is symbolized by Mother America wearing the crown of liberty. She's blessing her son who gave to war by warship and died in the arm of Mother France, wearing the red beret like the Pieta. From the dead body, an angel flies back home representing the soul of the soldier with a dove. The dove marked the supreme sacrifice of a mother offering her son's life for somebody else's freedom. The cemetery is surrounded on the east, south, and west by a dense mass of Austrian pine interplanted with white beams, Russian olives, sea buckthorn, Japanese roses, French tamarisk, elm trees better known as live oak. Among the grave plots are informal grouping and deciduous and coniferous trees, shrubs, and Japanese roses all over in the middle. The lawn of the garden in the missing are bordered by beds of polyantha roses, also elm trees and golden cypress, enhancing the cemetery contemplative and peaceful atmosphere. Operations, managements, and overview. During fiscal year 2025, operations management concentrated on key areas essential to the Commission's mission. These activities included providing funding for salaries and employees' benefit, paying service fees, conducting schedule maintenance, and repairs, and acquiring necessary supplies, material, and spare parts. Additionally, funds supported the replacement of the equipment that was not economically feasible to repair and were directly towards capital improvement project. For fiscal year 2025, the Commission was allocated $158 million from appropriation and its salaries and expenses account. The foreign currency fluctuations account for the same year included a provision for such sums as may be necessary, allowing for flexibility in funding as needed. The new Interpretive Center. In June 2001, two members of the Chamber, David Obey and John Murtha, suggested to the Congress to include to the American budget the construction of the new Welcome Center, including an exhibition. The Commission started to work in collaboration with local authorities, and then the project finally pops up in December 2002. The ABMC chose an architect company, Smith Group from Washington, D.C., who will manage other companies such as Gallagher and Associate, as well Jacobs, for technological service. The project was to be finished in 2007 with a cost of $30 million. The first stone was placed on August 28, 2005. The building was dedicated on June 6, 2007 during the famous 60th anniversary of the landing. About 3,000 people participated to the ceremony, including Robert Gates, who was a Secretary of Defense with the French Minister Morin. The center has been built by local companies respecting many symbols. The large open windows and vegetation reminded the open fields near Caen, where the British and Canadians fought. The east with the hedgerows more like the bocage, where the U.S. fought, and an opening roof to the sky inside to symbolize the paratroopers, and the north facade opening on the infinity pool reminds the landing of the troops on the beach. The symbolic of the Battle of the Normandy is also present by the walls composed of concrete plates. The irregularity in the walls made of concrete reminds many places in Normandy at the time. The irregularity of the wall symbolized the tragedy of war, the chaos of the bombing, and the artillery fire. The pavement is made with white granite coming from the south of India, with many inclusions of steel which rusted a little bit to remind the blood drops by the soldiers. Also, the wood graining behind the information desk remembers the bad seas. The building is about 10,000 square feet, with a huge bar on the ground to do not overtake on the cemetery.